Beth's with me tonight, guys. Beth, we needed something after that Newcastle game. Was it enough for you tonight there?
Do you know what? I don't usually smile after watching Old Trafford for a very long time, but I'm smiling tonight. Obviously, you can't get carried away. In my opinion, I thought Burnley were average for Burnley's level. I thought Burnley were a lot more usually aggressive, and I don't think they played to their full potential. But again, you can't take away the fact that we've scored 3 goals at Old Trafford. We're creating chances. We've not created chances in so long. I thought first half was a lot different to the second half in the fact that we were progressing the ball up the pitch a lot, pressing more than we were the second half. I thought second half we took our foot off the gas quite a lot, but overall you've got to be happy with the performance. And there was a few key players as well that you're worried about form-wise that have actually come into the team and really stepped it up. So hopefully we can see that as well going forward.
Yeah, I mean, first half, I think we should have been about 5-1 up. Ronaldo should have bagged an hat-trick at least, but good to see Greenwood and Sancho. Me and you both said in shows previously this week that we'd like to see Greenwood and Sancho behind, but it was more of a 4-2-4 tonight with the 4 up front with a lot of width, wasn't it?
It was, and at first I was a little bit worried when I saw it, when I saw the way that we're lining up with the 4 at the back, just Matic and Scott in midfield, and then with the basically complete flat line of 4 on the attack with Sancho and Greenwood on the wings. But the more the game was played, I actually was really enjoying the formation. I think with Scott, we'll get on to him in a minute because I thought he had a great performance today. Of course, he's not been the best all season, but credit where's credit's due. I thought he had basically a 10 out of 10 performance is the midfield role he was playing. I think Matic next to him really helped him with his defensive work. He was allowed to progress up the pitch, and because of the formation we're playing with the forwards in front of him, he had a lot of space, which he's usually good at, progressing the ball through the midfield. Usually if he's pressed quite highly and he's got a lot of players around him, you see him getting a little bit lost in the game and he doesn't often make the right decisions. But the way he was allowed that free role in the midfield today, I thought his progressive passing was great. I thought his physicality in there worked really well against Burnley, and obviously we know that he's a good shot. He's good at taking shots, he's a good goal scorer, and seeing him constantly fall onto the edge of the box, getting them positions, I do feel like Ralph's had a little bit of a word with him, had maybe a bit of one-on-one training with him, because his game really excelled today. He looked like he knew what he was doing in that midfield. Often this season he's looked very lost for me, but he knew exactly what role he had to play. The only thing about Matic which worries me again is I feel like he is a little bit too slow on the ball. Defensively he's pretty sound, but again quite slow. I think if we're up against a bit more of a high-paced team, he really would have struggled in the midfield, but that's what we've said all along. I still think we need a midfielder that can come in there and play next to the box-to-box player. I think that's massive for us. I think that's where we're lacking, and hopefully in January we might see that. And then obviously with Greenwood and Sancho on the wings, I thought they worked really well. I thought they kept hold of the ball. I thought they were building, especially Sancho, building a good relationship with Shaw on that left-hand side, interchanging as well, which was obviously keeping Burnley on their toes. And ultimately you saw us keep possession a lot more, stop them counter-attacks. There was still a couple, and still we did lack a bit of chemistry at times, but you know, the team's constantly changing. But it was a massive improvement when it comes to the midfield and creating chances for the forwards.
Yeah, I mean, so there we lacked pace in that game there, but we seem to lack a bit more ball retention and control, like you said there. I mean, with Rashford on the pitch, we've not got that. It's more of a direct approach, and I think we've sort of set out expecting that low block today, weren't we? But we can't get carried away. Burnley were shocking today. We did expect a low block, and I think the early goal pretty much set us up there, didn't it, today?
It definitely did. I thought it was deserved. I thought, like me and you were discussing before, it could have been 5-1 by half time. I do think Ronaldo usually he sticks that chance early doors, and I do think we deserved the chances that we got. The only problem that I would think is this Burnley team weren't that proactive. Usually you see the defence a lot quicker than that and a lot sharper. That didn't happen today, but still the way that Sancho and Greenwood were driving at them, it gave them a little bit of something to worry about, and you didn't know, especially with Cavani and Ronaldo in the box, the Burnley defenders have got to be wary about picking them up, and I do think it left space for Scott on the edge of the box. And also with both Ronaldo and Cavani in there, you've got 2 physical presences. Against a team like Burnley, Rashford, I feel like he just would rarely get a touch because these defenders are quite physical, and his pace, he definitely does work, but they're always going to be playing that line, and they're always going to beat him to the ball. With Cavani and Ronaldo, I think Cavani definitely took the workload off Ronaldo. I think it gave the Burnley defenders 2 big physical centre forwards to worry about, and I definitely think that left a lot more space for Sancho and Greenwood, who, by the way, I thought put in a great performance, but I also think the fullbacks came in, and do you know what, we said that fullbacks needed dropping. I completely agree with that. I do think Dalot and Telles have put in very good performances since they've been in, but Shaw and Wan-Bissaka come in, and especially for me, Shaw, he really boosted his game today. He caught out position a couple of times, but the way he drives through that midfield and the quick turn of pace he's got, it leaves the wingers that we have a little bit more space, which we've been lacking. And yes, there was a few loose balls, the chemistry's still not there, and passing is something we really do need to work on, especially in the final third. But overall, when you look at that Newcastle performance compared to the first half today, it was night and day.
It was. You said it there. Fullback's coming in. I was going to touch on that. Is there anyone worried who wasn't in the team tonight, who was against Newcastle, about getting back in the team? Do you change a winning team? You say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ralph has been an advocate of that in his early days here. Is Bruno coming straight back in, or are you keeping it as it is for this Wolves game on Monday?
Do you know what? It's a tricky one for me, because I feel like Greenwood and Sancho, who is the role that Bruno's going to play, did have extremely good games today. So for me, I think you've got to reward good performances, and I'm sure Bruno will get his chance, especially off the bench, and I'm one of Bruno's biggest fans, but I do think credit where credit's due. I thought they had brilliant games. So for me, in them two positions, I can't see them getting dropped. I also worry about, I mean, as long as Cavani stays fit, I do worry about Rashford getting back in, because in the midfield role, when we watched it against Newcastle, when he started off in that role, it just did not work. And then up front as well, you've got Wolves again that are very physical. He did score that goal against Wolves last season, but it was a bit of a fluky goal. I think with Rashford, he's one of them players that you're going to want in the last 20 minutes of the game for that counter-attack. When you're playing the likes of Manchester City, you're planning to counter-attack, that's where Rashford would be perfect. But while you've got Cavani and Ronaldo, both two physical defenders up front, world-class defenders, strikers up front, world-class ones as well, I don't see Rashford getting back into this team. Bruno, I think he'll definitely get back in, but looking at the performances today, you can't justify it. You look at Bruno's performance against Newcastle, and you look at Sancho and Greenwood today, I just think they were levels above, so they've got to stick in the team. They've got to.
Yeah,
it's not a favouritism. It's like with Scott as well, I've called for him to be dropped time and time again. For me, he's one of the first names back on the team sheet after that performance today. It's just whether you play well. It doesn't make up for his bad performances, but when you play a good game, people give you the credit, and you deserve to be in next game.
That's it. You took me right on to my next point there. Is it McTOMINAY man of the match, Beth, before you go?
It is McTominay man of the match for me. I thought Luke Shaw was very, very good as well. Greenwood we touched on, Sancho, but Luke Shaw for me, not Luke Shaw, Scott McTominay for me gets man of the match. I think he had a perfect midfield performance, and there's not much more you can ask to Scott in that role. It's just whether we see it consistently, because that's something we've not seen for a very long time.
Yeah, Beth, cheers for coming on as always.
Always.